On Thursday the 26th of April 2015, the Prime Minister David Cameron and Leader of the Opposition Ed Miliband took part in a TV interview debate in the run-up to the UK general election being held in May this year. The debate started at 9 PM and lasted for approximately 1.5 hours. David Cameron, seen here, had the floor for the first 45 minutes, and Ed Miliband the floor for the last 45 minutes. Viewers were encouraged to talk about the programme and join the debate on Twitter using the hashtag #BattleForNumber10. Using this, we monitored and collected all tweets with the hashtag to help us answer the important question of who won? During the debate, over 300,000 tweets were posted by approximately 85,000 users. So that equates to around 4 tweets per user during the debate. Now, if we look at the timeline of when tweets were posted, we can see that the most volume is towards the end of the debate, so around 10:25, 10:20. So when Ed Miliband is wrapping up, we can see at its peak, there was about 14,000 tweets posted within a 5-minute span. On average, there are about 14 tweets per second being posted during the debate. At its peak, so around 22:32, right after the debate is finished, there were 76 tweets being posted every second. Now, before we look at who won, let's have a look at some of the key talking points that arose during the debate. The first issue being 0 hours contracts. Both David Cameron and Ed Miliband were posed with this question: could you live off a 0 hours contract? As you can see from tweet volume, during Cameron's session, social media really lighted up here, so a lot of people discussing his answer to the question, because he was really trying to avoid it. Whereas Ed Miliband's more direct approach to answering the question generated far less interest on social media. If we look at the EU referendum, one of the key debates and one of the key talking points for this election, we can see that although not as many tweets have been posted on this issue, we can see the general longevity of the discussion on Twitter from the start to the finish of the debate lasts well into the early hours of the morning. Now, in any election, the NHS is going to be a big issue too. As we can see, by tweet volume alone, the NHS outranks all the other keywords and all the other areas we've looked at on this page. So at its peak, so towards the end of Mr. Cameron's session, we can see there were almost 4,100 tweets posted mentioning the NHS. So a real key battleground for the Conservatives here. One of the interesting things as well I found about this debate was the sentiment towards the interview of Jeremy Paxman. Overall, we can see although some of his questions were very hard line at times and quite unforgiving to both candidates, overall the British public and wider public on Twitter have generally taken well to the line of questioning, and Mr. Paxman fares fairly well here. But less about the interviewer, who actually won the debate. Let's break it down. So by tweet volume alone, Mr. Cameron wins by quite a significant margin. So 70,000 tweets posted for him during the debate compared to 60,000 for Mr. Miliband. If we look at tweets by time, as we'd expect during each respective candidate's debate or interview, we see the maximum number of tweets mentioning their name on social media. So for Mr. Cameron, that is at 9:10 PM, and that's just over 9,000 tweets. If we look at Ed Miliband, so his peak volume comes just towards the end of his interview, so when he's getting asked some tough questions, he receives around 8,000 tweets. If we look at sentiment, so how well people are responding in their language on Twitter for both candidates, we can see that both fare fairly evenly, so both have an overall positive sentiment. Something quite interesting for both candidates actually in this graph is we see before the debate starts, so around 9 PM, 8:55 for Mr. Cameron, and again for Mr. Miliband here, you can see the sudden drop in sentiment for both candidates. So it drops by almost a third here, and the same thing happens for Mr. Cameron. In fact, even more so, almost by half. If we look at the overall sentiment, so comparing all the tweets during the debate, we can see that Mr. Milband actually has far more positive tweets. So for Mr. Cameron, 80% of his tweets are positive. So that's around 60,000 tweets. But for Mr. Milband, there's fewer tweets, so 52,000. But we can see almost 90% of them are actually positive. The winner? With overall sentiment towards Ed Higher, I'm going to have to hand it to him. I mean, it's a close one. There's fewer tweets, but the fact that more of them are positive means I think he just edges this one.